Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be covering the errors on the very first wheat pennies from 1909 to 1919. And the way we'll do it is I've got a PowerPoint presentation, and it's got clear photos of all of the errors, and there's actually some really cool ones that I didn't know about, so worth sticking around. But we'll show you these photos of the errors, explain how to look for them, and then talk about the values based off of their condition. So whether it's circulated or a really nice mint state coin, and we'll get into all of that in just a few moments. Let's head to the presentation. And this is the first of the coins we're going to be going over today, and I was thinking as I was doing this video that I should probably make a full video about 1909 pennies, just explaining all of the differences and the various errors and some of the backstory, because there's a lot of history. But the double die obverse is one of the better known errors on these coins. It's pretty clear in terms of its spread. You can see it especially in the T and the Y of Liberty, and then in the spread also in 1 and 9, especially in the curve on the outside, pretty much all through the left letters or numbers in 1909. And the values here are about $70 for a VF20 example. AU53 is $125, and Mint State 65 red is like $1,000. Now some of these values can be, especially on some of the future ones, can be a little bit off because there can be relatively low people actively collecting these, so they're pretty well known, but there's probably more people interested in buying a 1909 SVDB than, for some error on an earlier error, especially like some of the ones that we're going to see in a moment. But the next coin is a 1909 S wheat penny. It's a repunched mint mark, and you can see there's the remnants of an S that have kind of extends above the northeast part of the main S. Basically what happens is they punch the mint mark separate from producing the die, and sometimes it doesn't take, so they have to do it again, and they don't throw out the die. It just becomes a repunched mint mark. So the VF20 is $150, AU53 is $225, and Mint State 65 red is like $900. It's not massively above the normal values, but I mean, if you're going to get $50-$75 extra, it's definitely something to be on the lookout for. The next coin is a 1910 S wheat penny, and that also has a repunched mint mark, but it's a little bit clearer, I think, than some of the other ones. It's just a very strong protrusion northward. There's not much side-to-side movement. You can also see the remnants of it peeking out here on the right side of the kind of the middle between the serif and the kind of body of the S. And VF20 is going to be $90, AU53 $160, and Mint State 65 red is $2,000. Now some of that probably comes from just the fact that there aren't too many 1910 S sweet pennies that are Mint State 65, especially red. They're gonna have a lot of premium because of that, but the VF20 being a $90 coin definitely is an extension above what a normal value is. 1911D, also we see a repunched mint mark. There were a lot more common, honestly on all pennies, but just for a long time. Here the repunching is strongly seen in the southeast part. We can see in both Denver mint marks here. VF20 $175, AU53 $675, and Mint State 63 brown is like a $1,500 coin. One tip is, like, if you see these coins in slabs, you can often find repunched mint mark and just error coins already graded that might be in pretty nice condition, because you're not going to see tons of Mint State 1911Ds in the wild, but not everybody looks for the repunched mint mark, and if they don't pay to get the variety designated, it's probably not going to show up. So something like the 1911 S wheat penny is also going to have, a good number of them with kind of, it's not doubling, but it's clear extra serifs or extra parts of the S coming out of the sides of it. XF40 is like $120, AU53 is $200, and Mint State 63 red is an $800 coin. Just, these are not the most flashy errors, but they're important to know about. Now, one of those flashy errors, and I believe it's our last coin for today, is going to be the double die obverse on the 1917 wheat penny. Super strong bar, extra bar in the 7, significant separation in the 9, and then also the ones are different. You can see the notching, but the biggest is going to be the 9 and the 7 here. And then in the In God We Trust, also just clear separation, very much doubled in the loops of the S. in the notches in the U, strong bar doubling all throughout. And this one is a more valuable error. VF20 is $350. You can still see it in the low grades. AU53 $1,700 and Mid-State 63 really extends the value to $6,500. So, you know, any 1917 pennies that you see, definitely going to want to check for this because it's so significant that it'll appear on a lot of the lower, more worn, lower condition, more worn coins. Even though, you know, some errors, if they're pretty small, can be a lot harder to detect. But this one's definitely one that you can find.
Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and get in touch with me on my website, treasuretown.yt.com, Facebook, Treasuretown, Instagram @TreasuretownYT, or Twitter @Treasuretown_YT, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my future vids.